Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short, but just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on the RR Studios situation with them canceling their perfect cell. So it is unfortunate. I did want to see what this project would look like all the way through if it got into, the consumer's hands. We did get a couple of pictures, which I'll go over in a second from RR Studios page. But yeah, the project has been canceled. And I mean, I don't know if there was more of a reason than what they had given in their posts. 5K Toys got another quote here mentioning something of an economic environment does not allow us to proceed with production or shipment. That if it's the circumstance like that in terms of them not being able to put the money in to produce the figure, meaning like get it, into the factory and produced that way or shipped out. Like, I don't know if that's really a reason or if it's more of what they mentioned with just not being able to meet everyone's expectation and kind of just backlash from people in the community and whatnot. Now, of course, it's not just going to be everybody on Instagram or YouTube. I mean, there's definitely different groups over in China that have their own thoughts and opinions about third-party products over there. And I mean, a lot of them emphasize the same things we do over here. You're not seeing totally different opinions. That's the best way to put it. What I will say about this studio from my time, like since they initially made a post saying they're doing a sell and they showed us renders, is I wanted to see actual prototypes, right? At this current time, I don't believe in pre-ordering things anymore without seeing some kind of prototype in advance. If I don't see that, I wait. Once I see that, and if I like what they're doing so far, I may pre-order, and then I may not. I may just wait till it comes out and buy it if I really want to. There's definitely been some things recently that have came out that, like, for example, the WoW Superaction studio, I think it's called, with their Goku. I still want to get that. I haven't had a chance to buy it, but something like that where they came out with a basically finished product and kind of already had an idea of what they wanted to do beforehand, and they put it out for people to buy if they wanted it. That is kind of the process I like. You know what I mean? If you believe in what you're doing and you want to put that out, and you believe someone's going to pay for it, hey, there's no point to sit there and dilly-dally and try to appease every little person. You can't. And I think that's one of the problems here with RR Studios is they did try to appease to everybody, and you can't do that. You have another studio doing a perfect sell. Presumably, Tamashii Nations is doing a perfect sell. I mean, I know a lot of people complain that they haven't put one out. They're running a whole entire Dragon Ball line. Let's not pretend like they won't eventually put one out. Like, let's just stop acting like they're ignoring and saying, we're never going to put that guy out. There's a process. Okay, we still are waiting for semi-perfect cell. If they drop a perfect cell before that, then you got me. Okay, but I really think that there's a process to what they're doing. But back to what I was saying. When it came to RR Studios, they dropped those renders. They didn't look the best. Like, if we're just being honest, they did not look the best to me. They looked enough to, I think, grab the attention for people. And what really sat on people's minds is the price, right? The things were over $100. They were about $100, I think, for the base and a little over for the deluxe versions, if I recall, but they were rather expensive. If you didn't order through 5K Toys, which you only had to put like a $20 deposit, which you should get that back by now. I know I got my email mentioning that they're refunding it, so you should receive that fairly soon if you haven't. But yeah, you only had to put $20 down with 5K Toys. Other places, you also had to put the whole deposit, meaning the whole price of the figure down. And if you really believed in it, then there you go, $100 down the drain. That for me is a no-go anymore. Especially with some studios taking longer and longer to release things. Not trying to call you out, HMYR, but the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's taking as long as they have is just absolutely wild to me. And I will never understand why it's taken this long for something like that to come out while you guys do release other stuff. Just really odd to me. But that's the biggest reason for me why I just don't do that anymore. I have to see something. And we did eventually get something. And sorry if you heard that little ding or whatever on my mic. I accidentally slapped it. But we got this picture here somewhere back in July. There could have been maybe one or two others, but this is just the one I remember posting. It didn't look that bad, right? Like, obviously it's a prototype. there is definitely going to be something you find wrong with it. Criticism, I think, is welcome if it's fair and not just hate, right? Criticism and hate, two different things. But yeah, I mean, for a prototype showcase, which I was confident was at least, it felt like a little bit old, right? Like I feel like some of these studios have prototype images that they hold on to and they don't just share right away, which I would like to see a lot more ongoing updates like we used to from certain studios, but they don't do it like that anymore. But we saw this, it didn't look horrible to me, but I thought it definitely room for improvement. I like to see what they could do more. Show me how far his articulation can start going. We didn't get to see that. So again, I put this in the back of my mind and forgot about it until now, when we started getting this news that it's canceled. And they shared some images here on their page, and we'll go through the rest of them. But this image alone, like, I like this. This perfect cell looks pretty good. And this is what is supposed to be, I believe, one of the final kind of product images of it in this stage. Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. Can I speak to its articulation and longevity as a figure? Absolutely not, right? We don't have it in hand. But from the looks of it, it looks pretty okay, right? Face probably could be better. Proportions, everybody's going to be having different ticks about that one, and I don't really care. What I really think is unfortunate here is just how people react in this community. I really don't care for the individual opinions between this studio is better than that studio. For me, I just buy what I like. I don't have time to say this studio is better than that studio. If I like both, I'm gonna buy both, right? I've got both Demonigo Fit and Tanzanar Toys Gogetas. I'm not gonna say one or the other is 100% better. They both have things that make them better than each other in some way, right? Same with what presumably would have been KW Studio versus RR Studio. Something may be better over here and one thing might be better over there, but ultimately they speak to different people for different reasons. So going through the rest of these photos, just so you guys can see at least while we talk, not perfect. It looks okay. It looks good as a figure. I would definitely say I would like to have played with this figure more than a Dragon Stars or the model kit, But at the end of the day, one message for you all is understanding that third parties also, is subject to just randomly have things canceled. Look at DKO. They just canceled their Super Saiyan Blue and Goku Black kit, presumably because the games begin Goku's functionality with the neck peg. It's not suitable for their head sculpt. Realistically, I mean, I don't think that should be a reason to stop it if they, have the means to produce it. People still are showing interest in the set, and all you would need is a conversion peg, really, which, AFFM Customs has been diligent in getting that stuff out to the community. And I mean, you got a good, head sculpt to pair with. And I mean, we still don't have a base Goku Black head sculpt. So you could still make a decent, even a profit or just helping the community out there. And we don't have that unless you have the old, Demoniacal Fit release that had dropped, I want to say 2.5 years ago, or maybe a little less than that. I don't know. We definitely haven't gotten anything Goku Black related updated from Tamashii yet. But, yeah, I wish we didn't see all these sudden cancellations lately. If you don't recall, even Black Hole Toys had their thing going on. But what are you going to do? One thing I'll leave you with here before I close this video out is we're in a community of toys, action figures, whatever you want to call them. Shoot, Barbies. If that makes you mad, I'm sorry, but like Barbies, toys, action figure, dolls. At the end of the day, that's all they are, right? Some people will hold a lot more value for than others. If a studio is making their own thing, they're open to take the feedback. They absolutely are. They don't have to, though. It's what they're wanting to put out for you guys to potentially buy as a consumer. If I had to have given advice to our studios, is don't even go to social media and expect a top of the line response from everybody. I mean, everybody will have their own opinions. We can think back to OC Toys back in the day when we had that little dispute. For whatever reason, they didn't like that. People had their own thoughts and opinions about people seeing their current product of work, and that, yes, there was some issue with it. Yes, you may have fixed it. People are allowed to have their opinions, and they're going to, whether you like that or not. As a studio, you just have to learn to shut it out. The community is going to respond how they want to. You can't force them to like a product. Can't force everybody to have the same opinion. Your backers will back you. Trust. And I guess there just wasn't enough of that for them, for RR Studios to see, to say, hey, we're good. Let's not even worry about the hate, right? Don't let the hate win. That's the biggest message, especially in this space, because for some reason, regarding toys, there's always some big dispute, and not even just talking about third-party stuff. Action figures in general. You never would have thought that there would be drama in an action figure space that is amongst the people, not amongst the companies of, hey, why are you charging us as consumers this? That's what you need to be focusing on, not this little petty squabbles. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Love to know your thoughts about the whole situation. I don't really care if you guys didn't like the figure or not. If you did, you would buy it. If you didn't, you didn't, right? We don't need to have the whole discourse of, well, it was this and this and this. You are free to your opinions as a consumer. That is all I will say. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video, which likely will be about some new third-party news, or hopefully about something SH Figure Arts related, or something cool. You know, I'm on the cusp of something interesting with some partnerships. So hopefully I'll get to talk a little bit more about that. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one.